Hi friends! Today I want to take a break from autistic expressionism and talk about abstract art a little bit. So what is abstract art? Well, Google says it's art that does not attempt to represent an accurate depiction of a visual reality, but instead uses shapes, colors, forms, and gestural marks to achieve its effect. The Oxford Languages site agrees, and so does the Tate Collective Galleries. Abstract art can range from fun, colorful pieces with lots of geometric forms and patterns from artists like Wassily Kandinsky and Piet Mondrian, who is one of my favorites, by the way, to paintings that look like cave art made in more modern times from Joan Miro, or to contour line drawings that look like faces, to landscapes that have been simplified or visually taken apart. I went through a phase where I deconstructed sunsets from a couple different regions, and I thoroughly enjoyed that process. Yeah, that was fun. It was like making block art instead of blending and etc. That statement is a pretty good segue to the current piece that I want to talk about today, which is called Hawaiian Galaxy. I've signed up for another set of classes because I just can't help myself from a pretty successful artist, but this time I'm learning more about setting my mindset and my intention, as well as some new techniques like using texture, and she uses a modeling paste gel, and then also using my fingers for painting, which part of my autism is that I don't like to be dirty at all, and so I get OCD about that. So that's, releasing, it's adventuring. Also adding metallic leaves into the works, and I wanted to learn how to use them, so it was really awesome. For the course I had to buy gold leaf. Every artist has their own process and reason for making art. For me, after learning about and processing my autism and all that means for me, and then dealing with some pretty scary and hard life events over the last year plus, I'm finally coming into myself. Not the me that has tried so hard for years to fit in, but the me that God designed me to be. I'm owning my love of mystery. I mean, I love mystery in books and shows, and I've shared that, but I just love mystery. I love solving mysteries. I love the etherealness of a mystery. That's why I'm so into fantasy, fairy worlds, or things like that. I'm reconnecting with my inner hippie girl that I was kind of more so in my teens and early 20s. And I'm facing my artistic challenges, which fear can really block you from a lot of things. So like things that I didn't think I could do, like finger painting, I'm just facing that, and I'm doing it. And I'm doing all of this because I'm going all in to connect with the sacred and divine. Since I personally have had sacred moments with God, I've really gotten greedy for more of those. And now in this course, I'm able to use all my senses when I paint and reconnect with God. So this painting was the first week's lesson in the new course, which is seven weeks. And each week has, 2 or 3 videos so far. I'm only in week 2. The first week had 2. The second week has 3. But you do the painting in stages. So that's also something that's pretty cool for me. I like to do a painting, sit down and spend a couple hours, and then have a piece of artwork. But this is sitting on my easel for a few days, and that helps me grow in my patience. And so this painting, stage 1, began with praying for a word. You can meditate or whatever you do for your own personal process. And my word came out as peace. And then we were to paint that on the canvas in an intuitive color that kind of comes along with your meditation or prayer. And so mine was a kind of a gold, really bright gold color, but I didn't have it, so I just used yellow. And then we paint around the word with the other intuitive colors that maybe come up or that we're feeling. And for me, those were pink and royal blue in that moment, which, pink is no surprise to anyone. And then for my first time ever, when I was done painting the canvas, I added the modeling paste texture, which using the modeling paste was kind of hard for me because I didn't really know the medium at all. I got a 3-inch palette knife and started smearing it on there, and I thought, and I instantly felt myself judging me and like, oh, this is a line here. Do you want that line there, or should I correct that? And then so I was finding a lot of judgment and correction in putting on the paste, but it started smearing with the paint, and then there was just nothing you could do about it. So then I just smeared it all over, and I just let it go. It really, that first stage created just a raucous mess. It was colorful and just bright, and I mean, I was really good about not mixing colors into mud, but the modeling paste goes on white, and it was a mess. Later, after the first layer had dried, when I watched the video, the instructor had told another student that they could put whatever they wanted into their painting, leaves or whatever. And so I went and got some of these old full body paints that I had that I didn't really know how to use, that I bought on clearance a couple years ago. And so I squeezed those out on my palette, and I thought, I'm gonna just get some tools out, right? So I had an old hotel key card, so that's how I applied the paint. And as I put it on, I realized that it was really opaque and it was covering everything. The underpaints had been more translucent and you could kind of see through them a little bit, but with this full body paint, it was definitely a lot more opaque. So I was more careful with how I applied it, but I was smooshing it and picking it up and moving it around and picking it up and smooshing it around. And I was just trying to make the whole composition symmetrical, because that's something that I have an innate thing about. I like symmetrical things. When I ended up, the little blobs that I'd smeared on, they kind of look like fish to me. So I thought, okay, this is going to be a galaxy fish painting. So that's what I thought I was calling it at first. Like, it started out as galaxy fish, right? Because you don't really name your painting in the beginning, but then as you're kind of going, like, I could have named my painting Peace right from the beginning, but I didn't do that. I just kind of waited to see what happened. So then after I left the fish blobs on there, then I have this really cool tool, and I thought, if there's ever a time to use it, today is the time. And it's just got jagged teeth on it, so I kind of took that across my canvas a little bit and made some rake-like divots in my canvas. And it was pretty good. So the instructor says to leave at least 10 hours in between painting sessions. So I didn't do that between stage 1 and stage full body paints, but I did do that until the next day, tomorrow. I came back in the studio and I made more ambiance for myself. I lit a lime-scented candle, and I put some, this is what the instructor had done, I had never seen anybody do this before, was put some essential oils in the water. So I have a bunch that I never use, and so I pulled them out, and I put a sweet orange and a cedarwood in my water, and oh my goodness, between the candle and it smelled so good in there. And then it was giving me really like the orange and the aqua, and then the scents, the kind of citrusy scents, that was really giving me like a tropical vibe feeling. So when I put my AirPods in, I tuned in some Hawaiian music, beachy breezes. It felt like beachy breezes were in my studio. The instructor was kind of guiding us with some of the paints, and so I got out some purple and some navy blue and some gold. And so then I kind of I was kind of trying to tone down it was raucous. It was really loud, and there was like no rest. It was a very active painting. And so I was putting on the darker hues to kind of tone it down a little bit. And I was going to leave these bright blobs of fish in there, but as I kept going, I was like, I like how this is soothing. It's soothing me as it's soothing the painting, even though I wasn't upset because I was doing beachy vibes, but I was just feeling like, as I paint, I just feel as I draw and paint. So when it's light and active, and then you're kind of like, you're feeling like, oh, I'm at a beach volleyball game, I'm having a couple margaritas or whatever. And then you're kind of, I was kind of calming down, like, oh, I'm sitting in a beach chair listening to the waves and reading a book or writing a poem or something. So there, it's definite mood shifting as it was going. And because I liked it, I just kind of went over the blobs and everything. It's so crazy how, like, my original vision turned into, well, I had probably 3 visions while I was going, like images that I thought it was going to be going through my mind as I went through the painting, and it turned out to be nothing like what I thought it was going to be in the beginning. But the key is, like, what I learned right away is to not judge and correct. Just let the art flow. Just let it go, right? This was an experience of my senses, and with the hearing and the smelling and the light, it was a really full experience. So then the last stage, the instruction said, was to add the gold leaf, and I went out and rooted out the copper leaf from my stash. And I put that on because the painting had some orange tones in it that I didn't completely cover. And I liked the copper has more of an orangish feel to it, so I thought that would go better compositionally. And then when I finished that, I was looking at it, and it just seemed, it didn't really have a good focal point. So then I just took where the biggest amount of copper leaf was, and I just added some gold paint around that and kind of made that like star shape kind of thing. And that is definitely a central focus. And then as you look at it, I feel like it does take your eye around the canvas. Yeah. I really like how it turned out. It sat on my easel for a few days, and my husband came in and he also liked it. And I said, do you want to hang this up? And he said, yeah. And so I found a frame and I framed it, and it's now hanging in my great room. So anyway, obviously I named it Hawaiian Galaxy because I was listening to Hawaiian music and I had the beach vibes as I was painting it. But then when I added the purple and the navy blue to it, it felt more like a galaxy painting. Yeah, it's just it's a calm painting. I really like the reflecting light elements in it with the copper leaf. And I'm excited to get started on week 2 of my new class. So thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, share it to anyone else you think might like it. And I appreciate you. Have a good one. Bye.